So for this week's project, we are going to be doing a Byzantine mosaic. And to start out with our materials, I've got a piece of mat board. You can use compressed cardboard if you'd like. It might even be nicer if you have something that's not white, because then when we glue our squares onto the board, it's not going to be, you won't have this bright white gaps between the colored squares. So if you have a piece of compressed cardboard, that would work just fine. Might give you a nice mid-tone brown color. So I've drawn my outline on the piece of mat board already, and I'm not sure how far I'm going to get during the demo, but I've outlined all the places that I think I'll have a color change. The color swatches that I got I've got a dozen or 30 or so, and I have a bunch here that are various mid-tone tans and pinks that I think I'll use for flesh colors. I've got a couple of sheets of brown, and it's nice too if you can get the ones that have different gradations on it. This will help you if you're going to be shading something. A bunch of gold and just some various other colors. So when I got started, the first thing you'll notice is that I'm sticking glue, a drop of glue on each little square of paint tile, and you'll find out pretty quickly if you try to do it that way that it's not a very good use of glue. You'll always end up with more glue than you want. The second thing you'll notice is that if you're doing a face and you need lots of little tiny pieces, especially if you're planning to do some kind of shading, which I'm doing but which you're not required to do, the pieces will probably be too small to handle very easily with your fingers. So I very quickly found out that I needed to use a tweezers. And then you'll see me in this section, I'm putting glue directly on the mat board. That didn't work terrifically either, partially because you still end up with more glue than you need. You have to pat it or smear it with your fingers, and also because it just dries too quickly to be very useful. By the time you get the pieces laid down where they need to go, then the glue is dry already. So what I actually recommend is that you take a small bottle of glue, and if it's full, all you have to do is pinch it and you'll get a little drop of glue that'll come out the top. And if you just place your tile on top of that and just kind of get a little bit of glue on the bottom of the tile while you're holding it with your tweezers, then you can lay it down on the mat board with the tweezers, and that seems to work the best. You'll also notice that as I'm going around the face here, I'm kind of going around the edges of the face, following the contours, and I'm going around the eyes, any of the important parts, and I'm starting with the shadows first and then working towards the highlights. But again, to simplify things, you don't need to shade it. If you feel like you're at a more advanced level and would like to try it, you're more than welcome to, but things will go a lot faster for you if you use larger tiles. If the portrait on your drawing is bigger, that'll make it a lot easier going for you. You'll also notice that because of the size that I'm working at, I reached a point where I just couldn't get the pieces any smaller, and I still needed to distinguish the top of the eyelid where the eyelashes are, so that the eyeball wouldn't be lost in the eyelid. And so what I ended up doing was drawing a line on the mat board so that it kind of shows through between the tiles a little bit to help delineate where the eye is. And if I was doing a real mosaic, and if this was much larger, I would actually do that with tiny slivers of tile. But like I said, I just reached a point where I couldn't make the tiles any smaller, so I kind of cheated there. But once you find you get past the face and those really important details, once you get into the hair and the halo, the background, and those sorts of just big areas of color, it'll go a lot faster because you can use bigger pieces. They don't have to be irregularly shaped, and your mosaic will get finished in pretty quick time.
but the